Welcome to our channel, where we update the thrilling developments, shocking secrets and unpredictable shocks in the world of Beyond the Gates. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any breathless moments. And right after this, we bring you a shocking episode, where a man is betrayed by the woman he loves. Losing both his mind and soul, a long slide into the bottomless hell called betrayal. That painful story begins with a familiar name, Ted. Once a symbol of stability and kindness, Ted lived a seemingly perfect life with his beloved wife, Nicole. Over the years, he devoted everything to his family, from work, finances, to sincere care. He never doubted anything about his wife. To him, Nicole was the perfect woman, the ideal partner, an inseparable part of his life. Ted's love for Nicole was not simply an initial infatuation, but a deep trust that had been forged over the years, an understanding and tolerance that he was always willing to give her, regardless of the circumstances. But life is not fair. And sometimes, the one who gets hurt is the one who loves the most. The first signs of abnormality gradually crept into Ted's daily life like a thin, barely perceptible smoke. Nicole began to act strangely. Unexplained text messages, sudden meetings without a clear reason, evasive glances, and late nights with fake sparkling eyes. But Ted, with his almost blind trust, had no doubts. He brushed aside all the bad feelings, reassuring himself that it was just work pressure, that Nicole was still the devoted woman she had been in the beginning. Until one fateful day, when Ted decided to go home early because a meeting was cancelled, the truth was revealed as cruelly as a knife cutting through the naked truth. The door to the house opened slightly. Everything was quiet as usual, but there was something unusual in the air, a strange perfume smell, an invisible chaos that made Ted's heart beat abnormally. He walked up the stairs with his legs like stone, and then the bedroom door opened slightly, revealing an image that made him freeze. Nicole was lying on the bed, naked, wrapped around a strange man, not him, not her husband. In that moment, all the sounds in Ted's world seemed to be eliminated. There were no words to describe the utter devastation he felt as he watched the betrayal unfold before his eyes. It wasn't just the collapse of a marriage. It was the destruction of the entire inner world he had so carefully built. He didn't step forward, he didn't scream, he didn't get angry. Ted just stood there, motionless like a statue, while everything around him collapsed without mercy. From that moment on, Ted was no longer himself. He left the house lifelessly, wandering the city like a ghost, completely unaware of where he was going. The footsteps dragging on the sidewalk felt like they were cutting into his heart. Every time he thought of the moment when Nicole lay in the arms of another man, his blood boiled with pain. He felt like a failure, a betrayed man to the core, a man with nothing left to lose. He began to fall into a state of mental panic. The long sleepless nights, the sobs in the dark, the recurring nightmares that made him panic to the point of waking up in the middle of the night only to realize that it was all real, and the more real it was, the deeper he sank into the black hole. Ted stopped eating like before, his body became noticeably thinner, his eyes were empty, lost in the world he once believed was stable. He refused all phone calls, locked his house, and did not interact with anyone. Friends, colleagues, relatives, all were helpless as they watched him slide into the abyss of despair. He not only lost his wife, he lost the meaning of life. Betrayal tore his soul apart, pushing him into a state of semi-consciousness. In his rare moments of lucidity, Ted began writing hundreds of pages of diary entries filled with resentment, contempt, and self-torture. He couldn't forgive Nicole. But he couldn't forgive himself either, for being so stupid to trust her. The pent-up emotions grew more and more intense. Ted began destroying everything related to Nicole, from clothes, pictures, mementos to her favorite books. Every time he destroyed something, he felt excruciating pain, as if he were tearing away a part of his own body. Madness crept into every action, every look, every thought. He began talking to himself in the mirror, imagining revenge scenarios and creating virtual trials in his head where he was the victim, the judge, the sentencer. The pain turned into obsession. And then, he could no longer distinguish between reality and illusion. Every time he saw Nicole, even in his memory, he was thrown back to that hellish moment. Even if she knelt down to beg for forgiveness, cried and swore, Ted could not forget. Not because he still loved her, but because the wound was too deep to heal. He did not want to take revenge by violence, because for him, silence and coldness were more cruel than any weapon. He let Nicole live with her sins. Let her witness him, the one who had sacrificed everything for her, now go crazy, turn to stone, become a wandering shadow, no longer have faith in humanity, no longer have the ability to love. No longer have a reason to live. Ted did not commit suicide, but he lived like a dead person. Every day that passed was a journey through inner hell. He looked at life with distorted eyes, hating everything that had made him happy. And the most painful thing was that, deep in his wounded heart, he still could not completely erase the image of Nicole. She was still there. Like a ghost that was both familiar and strange, like a stain that could not be washed away, like a curse that would haunt him for the rest of his life. And so, Ted continues to live in isolation. Wandering through long days without light, where faith has died, love has been betrayed, and he himself no longer recognizes himself. A man who was once whole, once proud of his family and happiness, is now just an empty shell echoing with an unnamed pain. Ted's life is a cruel reminder that sometimes, what kills us is not a knife or a gun, but betrayal from the person we love with all our heart. Thank you for following this tragic and haunting story. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to our channel to continue accompanying the most shocking and fascinating developments of Beyond the Gates, where every secret will one day be revealed.